My last game was when I was 29, when I was basically draining fluid from my knee. And the doctor was saying to me, you need to be careful.
One moment on live television was all it took. A simple, cheeky, no comment. Dropped after a viral clip during Champions League coverage, ignited social media like a spark in dry grass, sending viewers into a frenzy and sparking a wave of backlash. But the man at the center of that storm, his journey started long before the headlines, and it's far more powerful than the controversy that caught the internet's eye. Raised in Leeds, spending much of his childhood with the family of Paul and Karen Priest, he grew up far from fame, shaped by humble beginnings that would later fuel an extraordinary rise. At just 13 years old, he signed for Manchester City, stepping into elite football while most kids his age were still figuring out who they wanted to be. Then came the moment that changed everything, becoming one of the youngest defenders ever to represent England. A breakthrough so explosive it catapulted him into the national spotlight almost overnight. From prodigy to powerhouse, to one of the most entertaining, charismatic voices in modern football, his journey has been a whirlwind of talent, grit, reinvention, and unforgettable moments. This is where it all comes together. The glory, the grit, the noise, the quiet. Get ready. The legend of Micah Richards begins right here. Micah Lincoln. Richards was born in Birmingham on June 24, 1988, but the place that forged him was Chapeltown, Leeds, a neighborhood pulsing with music and grit. It could be warm as a kitchen on Sunday and rough as a scraped knee the next. Laughter spilled from doorways, while tension sometimes cut the air like a sudden cold wind. Through it all, Chapeltown became his proving ground. At home, his parents were ballast. Lincoln, a dreadlocked electrician from St. Kitts, hovered on touchlines like a watchful lighthouse. Heather, steady and soft-spoken, worked in social services, her office a calm harbor when the streets felt stormy. With siblings who pushed and protected him, Micah learned early that family was both shield and spark. Football was his first language. He started with Leeds City Boys and then Leeds United's youth setup. Initially a striker, quick and fearless, until release came at 8 years old, swift as a slammed door. He didn't sulk, he rerouted. Oldham's academy opened a side door where he shifted to defense, discovering a new rhythm, part thunder, part metronome. Micah Richards' professional journey began like a spark catching dry grass, quiet at first, then suddenly unstoppable. In 2005, at just 17, he broke into Manchester City's first team, a teenager with the shoulders of a seasoned defender and the hunger of someone who had waited his whole life for this chance. He didn't ease into the Premier League, he tore into it, his power and pace turning heads until he became the youngest defender ever to play for England, a record that made his name echo far beyond Manchester. As City transformed from a hopeful club into a rising powerhouse, Micah rode the wave. No, he helped create it. He became a vital presence in the squad, his tackles landing like thunderclaps, his runs bursting forward as if the grass bent out of his way. His efforts paid off in glittering silver. In 2011, he helped deliver the FA Cup, a long-awaited triumph that felt like a city exhaling after decades of holding its breath. Only a year later, he was part of the squad that captured the 2012 Premier League title, a legendary season that rewrote Manchester City's identity and carved Micah's name into the era's foundations. Inside the club walls, his brilliance wasn't just noticed, it was celebrated. He collected Manchester City's Young Player of the Year twice, each award a glimmering reminder of how quickly he had risen and how crucial he had become. On the international stage, Richards continued to shine, earning 13 England caps and representing Great Britain at the 2012 Olympics, proving his talent wasn't bound to club colours alone. But careers, like storms, change course. In 2014, Richards chose a bold new path, Fiorentina. Italy's Serie A was different terrain, a fresh challenge, a test of adaptability. He walked Florence's cobblestones with curiosity and determination, carrying the same fire that fueled his rise in Manchester. When he returned to England in 2015 to join Aston Villa, he brought leadership with him. Though injuries restricted his time on the pitch, he remained a steady heartbeat inside the club until retiring in 2019. Yet Micah Richards was never meant to fade quietly. Retirement became reinvention. He stepped into broadcasting and lit up the screen as effortlessly as he once charged down the right flank. His booming laugh became unmistakable, his analysis sharp, his charisma undeniable. Soon he was everywhere: BBC Sport, Sky Sports, CBS, one of football's most loved and respected pundits. Micah's professional life wasn't a straight climb. It was a journey of force, spark, resilience, and reinvention. From Premier League titles to international honours, from the roar of stadiums to the glow of studio lights, he built a career that felt less like a chapter in football history and more like a pulse, steady, powerful, unforgettable. Micah Richards' journey to wealth didn't begin with business deals or broadcast contracts. It began with thunderous tackles, roaring crowds, and a Premier League rise that forged the foundation of his fortune. Over the span of his football career, he earned an estimated $21.5 million in gross salary, a figure that climbs to $26.6 million when adjusted for 2026 inflation, the kind of earnings that set the stage for everything that came after. But his wealth didn't plateau when he hung up his boots. It transformed. Like a second wind that arrives just when others expect you to fade, retirement was the moment Micah's financial life erupted with new momentum. As his laughter boomed across television screens and his insight lit up football studios, Micah became one of Britain's most recognizable pundits. He stepped into broadcasting with the same energy he once brought down the right flank, and networks rewarded him accordingly. In a single year on social platforms alone, he was estimated to earn between $267,960 and $367,120, driven by sponsorships and growing digital influence. Monthly, his online presence can bring in anywhere from $16,480 to $22,600, showing just how valuable his brand has become. Beyond his media work, Richards' overall net worth reflects both his long football career and his expanding ventures. As of 2026, one estimate placed him at $23.8 million, a testament to years of strategic earnings, savvy opportunities, and a personality that audiences simply can't resist. While not every investment is public, what is clear is that Micah's income streams now flow from multiple directions: TV punditry, where he commands top-tier slots on premier networks; social media revenue, with six-figure annual returns driven by sponsorships and engagement; brand influence, where his voice and presence carry financial weight, much like a star player shifting ticket sales. And then comes the moment where Micah's story shifts gears, quite literally, as if a spotlight swung onto the machines that would shape his rise. The cars enter the narrative like powerful characters of their own. It starts with the Ferrari F430, the car that caught his eye, the way lightning catches the edge of a storm, sudden, bright, impossible to ignore. Under the showroom lights, it looked almost alive, crouched like a predator waiting to pounce. Micah didn't just buy it, he surrendered to it. Back then, the 2005 F430 carried a starting MSRP of about $170,045, its price tag as bold as its roar. Today, time has softened its market value to roughly $9,800 to $27,000, depending on condition, like a fallen star that still glows faintly from where it landed. But the story accelerates. As Micah matured, so did his taste, and he set his sights on something sharper, something that cut through the air like a thrown spear. The Ferrari 458 Speciale didn't just enter his life. It arrived with the grace and danger of a blade pulled from its sheath. By 2025, this machine commanded $300,000 to $400,000 on the market, its value as fierce as its engineering. Collector data even places its average worth around $472,770, a price that sings of exclusivity and precision. Micah Richards' journey into property began like a new chapter cracking open, quiet at first, but humming with promise. In 2021, he stepped onto the grounds of a North Yorkshire mansion he would soon claim for £1.3 million. The building rising before him like a sleeping giant waiting for the right owner to wake it. The moment he walked inside, it felt less like a purchase and more like stepping into a kingdom he was destined to shape. But the house wasn't perfect, not yet. And Micah, driven by the same ambition that once fueled him on the pitch, began reshaping the mansion bit by bit. Walls shifted, rooms expanded, and new extensions bloomed across the property like fresh branches on a long-rooted tree. Even when neighbors pushed back, his plans pressed forward until the home finally matched his vision. Eventually, its value climbed to £2 million. The house now standing proudly, transformed, and unmistakably his. But that mansion was only the opening note. Beyond its doors, Micah was quietly building a far bigger empire. Properties spreading across Manchester, Leeds, and Harrogate, each one another piece of his expanding estate. Through his firm Hillcrest and Louis Homes, his assets surged upward like a tower rising floor by floor, gaining £1.5 million in value in just a year and reaching £4.6 million in total by 2024. Add to that his personal portfolio, estimated at up to £5 million. And it's no wonder friends dubbed him Mr. Monopoly. His homes aren't just properties, they're markers of evolution, each one reflecting a different version of the man he was becoming. The £1.3 million Yorkshire estate that grew into a £2 million retreat. The scattered developments blooming across northern England like seeds he planted long before retirement. Each address tells a story of someone who didn't just step off the pitch. He stepped upward, building a future as sturdy as the walls he invested in. Talking about his personal life, Micah Richards exists behind a curtain he rarely lifts. As if he keeps his heart tucked away like a treasured letter he's not ready for the world to read. Though constantly in the public eye, he has never been married and continues to live life on his own terms, firmly and openly single. His views on marriage, cool, measured, almost dismissive, suggest it's a tradition that simply doesn't call to him. Still, fame casts long shadows, and rumors trail behind him like echoes in a deep hallway. Years ago, tabloids linked him to actress Helen Flanagan, a whisper that spread quickly but dissolved just as fast when she publicly denied ever even meeting him. The chatter didn't stop there. Later, speculations swirled around his on-screen chemistry with Alex Scott, but like smoke slipping through fingers, nothing solid ever formed. Through it all, Micah stayed silent, letting the gossip fade on its own. But beneath the surface of the stories stands one truth he doesn't hide. Micah is a father to one son, a role he speaks of with a softness that contrasts his booming on-screen personality. He often admits the tug-of-war between punditry and parenting, confessing that work sometimes steals moments he wishes he could keep. Yet he guards his child's identity fiercely, keeping those details sealed away like something too precious for public display. So while the world speculates, Micah Richards continues moving through life with a kind of quiet conviction. His relationships remain private, his boundaries firm, and his heart, much like his laughter, felt more than it is ever fully seen. Now, this wouldn't be our usual kind of video if we don't talk about controversy. Micah Richards has always carried a spark, but sometimes that spark lands in dry grass. One of the loudest flare-ups came during CBS Champions League coverage in April 2025, when a light-hearted clip of a fan spilling her drink led him to utter a cheeky, two-word quip. No comment. It was meant as harmless banter, yet the backlash spread across social media like a brushfire, with some viewers accusing him of making a crude remark. His punditry hasn't escaped the storm either. In September 2024, he slammed Declan Rice's red card as one of the worst decisions I've ever seen, igniting heated debate among fans who either praised his honesty or bristled at his outrage. Months later, in April 2025, he erupted again over a controversial Everton penalty, reacting as fiercely as a thunderclap, only for Alan Shearer to back him up, calling it just as soft. Even the lighter moments found a way to go viral. During a CBS broadcast in February 2025, his colleagues jokingly branded him a disgrace after revealing he'd ordered a £73.75 Chinese takeaway, an extravagant meal that became internet fodder as quickly as a joke that lands a little too well. But the most serious moment came not from a studio, but a stadium. In September 2023, when Roy Keane was allegedly headbutted at the Emirates, Richards stepped in on camera, trying to defuse the situation like someone throwing themselves between sparks before a fire could spread. Police later opened an investigation, and the incident circulated widely across social platforms. And that's where we'll leave the world of Micah Richards, a world where luxury doesn't just sit on the surface, It flows underneath everything he's built. His journey took him far beyond the pitch, straight into the halls of real estate success. From securing his £1.3 million North Yorkshire mansion, a home now standing strong at £2 million, to transforming it piece by piece. Like an artist perfecting his masterpiece, Micah has crafted a life carved in comfort and ambition. But his real signature move, turning property into power. Through Hillcrest and Louis Homes, his investments rose by £1.5 million in a single year, lifting the company's value to £4.6 million, a climb as confident and deliberate as the man himself, and with a personal portfolio worth up to £5 million, stretching across Manchester, Leeds and Harrogate. It's no mystery why friends crowned him Mr. Monopoly. Micah Richards' luxury isn't loud or boastful. It's like a quiet engine humming beneath a polished hood. Steady, refined, undeniable. So as we close the chapter on his world, built with vision, expanded with purpose, and lived with style, remember this: Micah didn't wait for luxury to find him. He hunted it, built it, and claimed it. Thanks for watching. If this glimpse into Micah Richards' elevated lifestyle inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep stories behind football's biggest names, and drop a comment on who we should explore next. Until then, keep chasing your version of luxury. See you in the next one.